Hari Om. There were three entities. One was today, other was yesterday, and third was tomorrow. What happened once this today was just taking a stroll, taking a round in garden, and he was always thinking of becoming ever, every day. He wanted to keep his existence forever. So, in that thought, he was thinking and wondering. So, he saw one this yesterday in one great mystic appearance. He was somewhat faint, faded away color. So, he got some curiosity about him and he went near him and asked, "Who are you?" "I am yesterday." So he said, "Oh, I am today, he is yesterday. So he is also like me." So he said, "I always feel to become ever, forever, every day." So yesterday said, "When I was today, I was also thinking of that only, to become every day. But in that thought, I lost that time, what I had with me. And just next day, I became this yesterday." So, what you do? You concentrate on the time that you have got in your hand. Present is a present that we have got. Saying this yesterday disappeared. And still, this today was wandering in the garden. So, he came along with still another entity. He was tomorrow, next day. So he asked, he was bright. He asked, "Who are you?" So he said, "I am next day, I am tomorrow. And I also want to be forever." So then today said, "I also want to be forever." Then tomorrow said, "But neither yesterday can do anything for becoming forever, neither tomorrow or next day can do anything for becoming forever. Whatever we can do is only present today. So, today is the best time, and this is the best place. So, now itself, whatever good that you want to do, you do." So every moment that we have got, so we should use that in a fruitful way so that we go nearer and nearer to our goal of life, and that is infinite happiness without depending on anything, which is unconditional and objectless. When we spend our day in this manner, then we don't feel guilt that, "Oh, I had to do this and what I did, how I spent my life." So whatever this moment is gone, that never comes again in our hand. So always live moment to moment without taking any burden of the past and any worries of the future. neither anxieties for the present, remaining alert and vigilant. Spend whatever time span that you have got. Devahitam yadayuhu. In our Bhadram Karnevihi prayer, it is said, whatever life we have got, let it be spent in service of God, country, our community, and in the spiritual practices to acquire self knowledge. Hari Om. Once, what happened? There was a sugar factory, and long ago, this story happened. So, this sugar factory, all the residue that the sugar, the process of making sugar, that is came that with all the chemicals, etc. That owner of sugar factory used to drop that all, leave that all in the river that was passing through this town. Actually, that was not good for the hygiene of people and also for our environment. So people also complained, and the authorities also told, but this sugar factory person, he was not paying any heed to it. Afterwards, what happened? His own child, he got some skin disease, and doctor said that it's spreads from this water pollution, and same river's water was being drunk by his family also. That time he came to know that whatever careless and reckless things that we do towards nature, towards others, that in totality it comes again to us. So whatever we do unto others, same we get from others. So this circle, the cycle of nature is such. So that time he came to his senses, and then he made that dangerous, harmful water pass through effluent tank, effluent process, and then taking its chemicals, dangerous chemicals away, then he left that water comparatively better in that river. Hari Om. Common sense, it is said, common sense is most uncommon, and it is required in all the walks of life. Once there was a teacher, and he has got many disciples, but two of them were given his physical personal service of massaging his feet. So these students were always listening to the lessons, preaching of the teacher, but they were not thinking that and absorbing those teachings. So there was as if rivalry or competition among them. So one day, one of the student was absent. So Guruji told other student to press this pit also. So he said, no, I have got this pit, so I will press only this pit. So this is not the way of service. Service we have to do as per the will and wish of the one who is worshipful, towards whom we are rendering our service. Many times in our life also. When we want to give a gift or when we want to make happy other person, whatever things we think that this I like, this gives me happiness, same thing we tend to give them or tend to make them do. So here, using some empathy, we should learn to know what is there in others' mind, what he will like to do, what is his opinion, what is his need, or what is his idea of happiness. And then, if you can do that, if you can understand his mind, then that will be real gift or an attempt to make him pleased. Also, at one ashram Gurukul residential school where teachers and students stay together, a batch of new students came and as explaining general rules, teacher said that whenever a venerable teacher comes in front of you, then always fold your hands and do salutation, namaskar, and say that school's medium was Sanskrit. So say, Bho Guru Namaste, and salutations unto you, O reverential teacher. So, as a general rule, he tells it, explains it to every student, and they also remember. And afterwards, whenever teacher comes in their front, they will do like this: Bho Guru Namaste. But once what happened, there was big well which we used to provide water for all the residents in that residential school. This teacher who was not knowing swimming, he fell down in that. And some among the students were very well swimmers, so they jumped to save him. But this teacher was just drowning, going down and again coming up. So they just lifted him. But as soon as they came out of water, they saw teacher in front of them and they left him and again joined their palms and Guru Namaste. Again the teacher was suffocating for breathing for air and again he was taking his hands up. Again they were taking him up. Again when teacher came in front of them, again Guru Namaste. So in this way this was happening. And at last they came to their senses and they said, oh, this is exceptional case. So the spirit of rule and the words of rule or law or act, so that should be seen. And with common sense, what is the purpose of that law or rule or act is made? Then we have to do the things. When we walk alongside the road, it is general rule that we walk from the left side. But now, what for this rule has made? This spirit of rule or law we have to consider. So, this rule is made for the safety of the walkers who walk from the footpath because the vehicles come from this side. So, we can know a vehicle got a brake fail. It comes from the opposite side and it is just since it has no brakes, it is just climbing on the footpath. Then at such time, if One is just firm and rigid and adamant and stick to this rule that no, I have to walk from the left side of the road only. Then he will lose his life. So at this time, he must cross the road, run that side, and walk from that side. So in this way, rule should be followed in its spirit and law. In case of Ramayana, Sri Ramchandra ji was knowing that in the heart of hearts of Dasharath, he was wanting to do coronation of himself, Sri Ram. He wanted to make Ram the future king, would be king of Ayodhya. But that time, these situations were such that he chose the way where sacrifice was there and not indulgence and enjoyment was there. He said that it is very good that I had to go to forest. First thing, there was not much distance or many years difference between himself and Bharat. So he always loved Bharat and he is becoming king. This is the best thing happening. Second thing, mother's mother's instruction was being followed because she, Kaikai, his stepmother, was willing him to go to forest. So that thing, mother's will is also completed. And third thing, father's promise was kept. Father has given a word to Kaikai. So that was also kept. So all the three things are good. And from my side, Sri Ram said, from my side, it is very fortune. It is very fortunate. I am very fortunate to see and visit all the good sages and saints and austere and hermits of the forest. Otherwise, else when I will go and see them. So while going to this exile, I will come along many learned and great souls who are well versed in scriptures and who has realized the truth. So in this way, even though very unconducive situation is there, definitely it has got some dimensions that are very good. And if we find out that point of view, that vision, then there is always conducive things that we can describe in our life. Hari Om. Now, there was one boy, and his father said that now you are growing, so you must learn swimming now. So the boy said, okay, father, you give me book on this swimming. So father brought him, brought a book for him. And that boy learned that book, read that book again and again, and learned all the things in that book, theory, that the swimming, what is this preparation, how it is done, and what is its benefits, and how you can back swim, and how you can dive, and all the things that he by hearted well learned. So father said, now let us go to waters. So he went with father, and there when he just entered there, he was knowing nothing of practical. So he started panting, and the water entered in his nose and mouth, and he saw all other boys, even younger than him, they were fearlessly swimming and playing and diving and jumping and splashing that water everywhere. So he asked them, "Have you read that book on swimming? Have you learned it by heart? Do you know what strokes you can give, backstroke and like this? Do you know the ways of diving, etc.?" He said, "I have not read any book. I just come here and I learn swimming." So many times, theory and practical, pure science and applied science. So as we go on learning whatever the subjects that we have, so same way we should also take experience. We should also explore many fields of life whenever there is opportunity to meet other people, to do new things, to go various places, and to have as possible, as much possible as experiences. Also, in case of spirituality, all the things we read in a book, that how this dispassion, then discrimination, then withdrawal, control over your limbs, control over your mind, then tolerance, forbearance, then faith and belief, then concentration and desire to get liberated. These all things we read. And then when we get its theoretical knowledge, knowledge on the level of our intellect, we think, yes, I have completed this all. Requirements or eligibility for this spiritual path. And then we go for next immediate preparation for this. We listen on the Upanishads, Gita, texts by Adya Shankaracharya, Ramayana, Bhagavad, etc. And then we think over it and try samadhi, meditation, and then we come to know, though I have spent so many years in this spirituality, but where am I? Also, it is said that spirituality, your growth, your progress in spirituality is expressed or is known by the smiles on the face of the people around you. So, in that way, also, and how much peace, how much bliss I am experiencing in my life, how much purity and how much lighterness of life that I am experiencing compared to what I was when I began. I was a novice on this spirituality, path of spirituality, when I just began, and now where I am. So, in this way, we should do self appraisal. And then from the beginning again, do I have real discrimination or differentiation that this is permanent, this is impermanent, this is imperishable, this is eternal? And then after that, do I have dispassion towards what I don't want? These all decaying and changing phenomena. Do I have control over my tongue for eating and speaking? So, in this way, practical of all the things, all the virtues that we have, we want to imbibe in ourselves. The story of swimming tells us. Hari Om. Sant Namdev was a staunch devotee of Lord Vitthal, Vithoba or Panduranga of Pandharpur. That is a form of Shri Krishna or Vishnu Narayan Bhagwan itself. So he used to speak to God since childhood. In childhood only, when he was very innocent and guileless. So that time when once his father used to do offerings of food every day to the Lord in the temple. One day he had to go to out of station. So his mother sent a boy Namdev when he's in younger childhood. So take this offering of food to God. And he brought it. He thought every day my father brings, so God must be eating that physically and personally. So he also kept that food there. And he said to God that, oh, you please eat. So that statue, that idol was of a stone. So it remained unperturbed. And he said, oh, today I came, therefore God is not eating. Every day Father comes and he eats. So he started crying, weeping. And again he pleaded God, requested him, oh, you please eat, otherwise my mother will scold me why God has not eaten, etc. And he did that so much intensely that God appeared there and he ate that. So, in this way, he was a staunch devotee and he always used to speak, etc., with God. But because of this, a small little bit of arrogance came in his mind that I am great devotee. So once they were just sitting, all the good men of that time, all the saints and sages around the locality, they were sitting having a gathering, and that time Sant Nivruttinath, Jnaneshwar, Jnanadev, Sopandev, and their small sister Muktabai. They were also there, and other also saints were there, Gora Kumbhar, etc. So this Muktabai was also a great realized soul. So she took one small stick and just hit that stick with to everybody's head, and whoever got angry, he said she said he is just unripe, unmatured. So everybody just bear that happily. But Namdev, he said, "Oh, she's so smart and she's hitting me." So he got angry and he got annoyed. So she said, "Oh, this is unripe earthen pot. This is immature seeker." So everybody laughed. So Namdev got nervous and sad, and he came to Lord Vitthal in temple and complained him that, oh, see, these people, they are telling me you are unmature and unripe and not yet reached. So Vithal said to him, yes, they are right. So even though I speak to you, any other person don't have this privilege, but still the knowledge of oneness, Advaita, that one self is there, one consciousness is there, one awareness is there, and that is in all, and everything is in it. So this separate feeling of individuality is because of that consciousness identifying with some or other our conditionings, limitations. So that should go. So you go to a teacher called Visoba Khechar in Aundha Nagnath. So he obeyed him, Namdev, and he came to that teacher. And he was just searching where he is. So people said that in that temple, Shiva temple, he is lying there. You go there. So when he entered that temple, what he saw? He saw that this Vishobha creature was lying there, and his feet were on a Shivalingam, that is a stone symbol of Shivji. So he just got shocked because that is very much worshipful thing. God's symbol itself, Shivalinga. We worship him. We put our head on in front of that, and here this fellow was lying with his feet on that. So that was definitely shocking. So he still he did prostration to him, and he asked, "How this is so?" So he said, what should I do? Wherever I put feet, there this Shivalinga comes. If you want, you just lift my feet and keep anywhere else at other place." And Namdev went and he lifted his feet and just put it another. So there also that Shivalinga came. Still another place, there also Shivalinga comes. In this way, Namdev tried many times, but every place wherever he used to go to feet, put his feet, then there Shivalinga will come. Shivalinga came. So that time he realized the value and place in the spiritual progress of this Visoba Kecha. And he got full reverence for him. And he then surrendered totally along with ego, that me sense, to his feet. And then he instructed him the knowledge of oneself, one God. And then when Namdev came back, once he was on the bank of the river and he was about to eat his lunch. That was just bread, rotis, and ghee on that. So he just opened that packet of lunch and went to the nearby river to have some water for offering and pouring around it and to having a sip of it. At the same time, that one dog who was passing through, he happened to come there and he took those rotis, those bread pieces, and ran. So that time, Namdev felt that which God, that Brahma, is in me, is in the idol of Lord Vitthal, same is there in the body of God also, dog also. So, and he will eat now those dry rotis or bread. So, having that small bowl of ghee, he ran after that. Oh God, oh Panduranga, oh Vithoba, you please take this ghee on that rotis, that bread. Otherwise, your stomach will ache if you eat those dry rotis. So, in this way, oneness, the knowledge of oneness, that is self knowledge, that realization, it comes when Guru does grace on us. Hari Om. Like this, many stories are told about Santa Eknath also. Santa Eknath, once he was passing through one desert, and at that time, actually, he was on pilgrimage. As a pilgrim, he went to Varanasi, Kashi, and he took their Ganga water of river Ganges, and all the way he was going towards Rameshwar, that is the southmost end of Bharat. So in between he were passing from that desert, and hot midsummer day was there. So everywhere there was great heat. So that time, Santa Eknath noticed that one donkey, he was just lying there in sand, hot sand, and he was there turning on his side, and he was very thirsty, and he was dying of water. So Santa Eknath, without thinking anything else, he straightway went to that donkey, and the Ganga Jal, which he brought all the way from Varanasi, walking only on his foot, and was taking to Rameshwar to pour it on the Shivalinga of Rameshwar. So that Ganga Jal he poured into the mouth of that donkey, because thought that the God which is there in the Shivalinga, that stone sign symbol of Lord Shiva, that same God is moving in this living body of this donkey. Whatever photo or idol or statue is there of God, that is maybe of stone or wood or copper or gold, any metal, or maybe drawn on paper or cloth. So that same God moves here and there, does many actions, thinks and understands in the form of all animals, human beings, and even these birds, serpents, and trees, etc., plant kingdom. And same God resides as me in everybody. So this knowledge of Santa Eknath make him great, and even now we remember him reverentially, and we read the lot of literature that he has left as a legacy to us. Once he was doing an offering to his ancient ancestors, and for that purpose lot of delicious food was prepared in their house, and the fragrance of that food was wafting in the air around their house. So when a group of outcasts were passing outside from the road outside his house, they just smelt that fragrance, that aroma of steamed food, tasty food, and they just took their that aroma from their breathing in, and they thought, when we will be enough fortunate to have the taste also of such food, of which the aroma is so much nice. And Santa Eknath happened to hear this wish of them. Then he called them all and make them seated there. And he offered the food that was prepared to offer to ancestors in the form of Brahmins, to whom he has invited earlier. So that food he fed to those outcast people. And afterwards, after washing all the vessels, containers, etc., clean, he again prepared the food for Brahmins to, in turn, to be offered to the ancestors. But these Brahmins, when they saw that these outcast people were fed before us, so they all of them decided not to go to Eknath Maharaja's house and they boycotted that function, that ritual. So Sant Eknath Maharaj requested them, appealed them again and again, but they did not budge. So at last, Sant Eknath Maharaj just thought of his own ancestors and requested them to come. And lo, they all came in their form, and they all had their lunch there. And seeing this all Brahmin, they just thought what we did was not correct. Sant Eknath Maharaj used to do this all spiritual discourses every day in his house. Many people from around towns they used to come and they used to sing there the glories of God, the name of God. And many outcasts also used to come and sit away from him at the end of the crowd audience. So among them, one woman was there, outcast woman, and she had lot of faith and trust and belief for Sant Eknath Maharaj. It so happened that she had promised to feed 1000 Brahmins once, but she had not so much money to feed 1000 Brahmin. So she came through a thought in mind that this Eknath Maharaj is compared to equal for 1000 Brahmins. So even if I feed only him, then I will get the merit of feeding 1000 Brahmins. So after all the discourse was over, all the people went. She requested Eknath Maharaj that will you come to my house? I will feed you, and so that I will be released from this my oath or vow of feeding 1000 Brahman. Brahmin means people having good qualities, great qualities, knowledge and practical knowledge also, and all atheistic values, control over their mind, and having dispassion, etc., and very learned and studious. So, in this way, he said yes, Eknath Maharaj said yes, I will come. But his son, Hari, he was very orthodox person. He was always thinking that yes, my father does not follow the rules of all community. These people are untouchables. And if we go even at the place where they had lived earlier, even if now they don't live, but earlier they lived, in that place also our scriptures bar us from going. Not to live alone to speak to them and to eat their food and touch them, etc. So this Eknath Maharaj is not following this rule, so he will incur sin. That's what Hari, Eknath Maharaj's son, was thinking. So he said, You should not go. But Eknath Maharaj said, I should go because her heart otherwise will be just become sad. So, and I have given a word also. So Hari said, Okay, on one condition. I will go to her house and I will prepare food to you for you. So you will eat the food prepared by my hand and not her, but in her house. Eknath Maharaj said, Okay, I don't mind. Then Hari went to the house of that woman and he prepared food there. And that woman also still daily prepared some food for him and that also she served him. But what happened after he finished his food, Eknath Maharaj? Hari left that leaf plate, patrawal, leaf plate of Eknath Maharaj, and he put that in dustbin. And he went again there, came again there, but he saw again that one place where food is eaten, some particles of residual food is there. Again he lifted that, and thus he did for 1000 times. And that time he came to know the value of his father, the place of his father, that even though one Sant Eknath ate, it was equal to the feeding or eating of this 1000 Brahmins. This way, Sant Eknath Maharaj. Many stories of him actually are there. Also, his one story, they say that once he was in Paitan, he used to stay in Paitan, Pratishtanpur earlier, so now Paitan. So there also, alongside that river, a desert type sand is there. And one hot summer day, midday, sun was shining and just emitting all the heat. So that time Eknath Maharaj happened to pass from that desert, and he saw that one child was just in that hot summer, he was there, lying there, and crying and weeping loudly. And around him, nobody was seen. So, without any thinking, Eknath Maharaj went there. He was very kind hearted and soft spoken. And he saw the same God, a staunch Advaitin, Sant Eknath Maharaj. His literature is full of that Advaita Tattvajnan. Oneself is in everywhere, in everything. So he went there to that child and he lifted that child. That was a dirty child, all nose was running and no proper clothes, etc. Definitely, that was a child of some untouchable only, outcast only. He lifted that child without thinking anything, and he wiped him clean with his cloth, upper cloth, and then he went to that Maharvada, it is called, the place, the habitat where such untouchables and outcasts were used to stay. So he went there, and there he got address of whom the parents of that child. So he handed over that child to his mother and also lovingly scolded him that you don't be so careless about your child and don't leave him again alone like this. Escort him always. So, in this way, Eknath Maharaj practically in his life was living that principle of one consciousness in everybody. Gita Bhagavan says, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayasthitah Ahamadishcha Madhyancha Bhutanamanta Evacha. I am there in everybody as I. Atma means I, me. So, before everybody, after everybody, in between everybody, among everybody, I am there only. So, everything is my form. Hari Om. In one small village, one girl was there and she used to teach the children of slum area where all the huts were there and they were their parents were very poor pauper and still all the drinking, etc., all addictions were there, and education was not there. So in such area, this girl used to teach those children some mathematics, some language, like this. And she used to teach them good values also. So one day she told those all innocent children that you always respect your parents, you always revere them like God. Mother is God, like father is like God, teacher is like God, guest is like God. And when we see God in them, always after bath in the morning, you touch their feet, do prostration to them every day. So this one boy, he went home and definitely next day he remembered what this teacher said. So he touched the feet of his father, and his father was a drunkard. Since morning to night he will drink. He used to drink. So that father kicked him and abused him. These children felt very bad and he wept. And next day, when this teacher again told him, you always respect your parents, they have given you the birth of this body, and therefore you are able to do everything in this world, acquire knowledge and money, etc., with this body. So always you be grateful and express your gratitude by touching their feet every day. So this boy stood up and said, yesterday I did that. So my father kicked me. So this girl, very lovingly and compassionately, he said, "Let it be. Let him do on his part. But still, you every day touch his feet, and you every day obey him and do what is good for him, what will please him." So that boy, next day also he did that. So every day he did that, and really, after some days, actually, this God stays in every heart in the form of love, in the form of happiness. Our children sing one song. Love is, love is, love is God in every heart expressing as the smile on your face. Together we stand as one family to love and to be loved in harmony. United we stand, divided we fall. So make up your mind, friends, to love one and all, now and forever. The Chinmaya way, the Chinmaya way, the Chinmaya way. So love is God in every heart. So that God always trying to come out to express in the form of loving all and everything around him, the nature, the all the things and all beings also. So that God found way to peep out. So one day this his father smiled and did not kick him and took him near and just caressed him. So in this way, Gurudev also used to say, when one person said that my boss is very ridiculous and he always scolds me, etc., and tortures me. So he said, it means he is in need of respect and love. So you give him love and respect. Even though he will kick you in the beginning, well, you continue that and definitely he will change. So the love is a great transformer. It is said faith moves mountain. So when we do anything consistently, persistently, then definitely it works. Hari Om. Shivaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was a great king because of whom we are now what we are. Because otherwise, there was a great tyranny of the people who came from outside and they were ruling India and having their worst reign in the period of history. About this history, it is said that once teacher asked children, "Do you like war or peace?" So students thought for a moment, and all of them in chorus they said, "Peace, teacher, peace." So teacher said, "Oh, you are very peace lovers. Then why you do all the sound and noise when I'm not there?" So you like peace. Good. Why? So he said, war makes history and we have to study that. Therefore, we like peace. And so one parent went to meet the teacher of his child and he asked teacher, how he is in history? I was very bad when I was learning, studying in school. So how is my child is in history? So teacher said, history repeats itself. Yes, he is also not good. So Shivaji Maharaj was a great king, and when he was young, so he in 15, when he was 15 years of age, that time only took pledge, he took an oath and vow that I will try my best, I will offer my all life and everything that I have for the complete freedom of my country. Our own rule should be there in our own land, not that outsiders come and rule us. So that time, Shahaji, his father, he was there in another state. And after 12 years, because Shivaji Maharaj was with his mother, Jizabai only, father was there staying away. So after 12 years, he happened to meet Shahaji Maharaj. So in one temple, in the one big deep plate that is called parat or copper. So in that melted ghee was poured, and in that ghee they saw in reflection each other, father and son. So this is the traditional way of meeting when you meet a person after 12 years. And after that, very much reverentially, Shivaji Maharaj took the sandals of Shahaji Maharaj, his father, to his heart and made Shahaji Maharaj sit on the elephant. And he walked alongside that elephant. In this way, Shivaji Maharaj had great qualities, and therefore we remember him even now. And his all letters and his all deeds are still inspiring for us for offering ourselves for our motherland and serving it. Hari Om. Some stories we'll see in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम श्री सीतारामचंद्रार्पणमस्तु।